Derek and Grant.
Good morning, Nebraska FFA. I'm Derek Dom.
And I'm Grant Ewing. And it's my pleasure to introduce you to my best friend
And my little brother, Dylan Dom.
For those of you who know Dylan, you may know that he loves baseball and runs it.
But what you may not know is that he might be the best baker in Washington County, and he probably has the cleanest room in the state of Nebraska.
Dylan is always the man I can turn to whenever I need advice. And no matter the situation, he's always counted on to do the right thing. Here today to give his retiring address entitled The Pursuit is my good friend
And my little brother, your 2013-2014 Nebraska State FFA Vice President, Dylan Dom.
This is your chance.
What movie is this clip from? Ratatouille is one of my all-time favorite movies. It ranks right up there with Angels in the Outfield and Field of Dreams. I love it because of the music, because of the characters, and because of the message. Remy, the star of the movie, is a small rat who dreams of being a world-class chef in Paris. You can probably see where a cooking rat might run into a few roadblocks. As we saw in the movie clip, though, those roadblocks don't stop Remy. Remy had an unbelievable talent when it came to working in the kitchen, and he never let anything stand in his way of him realizing his dreams. The movie is a cartoon, and I realize how unlikely it is that a rat could become a world-class chef. Let's think about the message, though. The story in the movie isn't real, but here's what is. Remy had potential, clearly unique to himself. He worked to achieve it, and he constantly helped others to realize theirs. As I watch Ratatouille, I think, what's my potential and how can I influence others to realize theirs? At the age of 4, I knew exactly what I wanted to do with my life. I got dressed up in my boots and jeans and rode around the house on my imaginary horse. My dad called me Cowboy Bob. I was going to be a cowboy. I had no idea what a cowboy actually did, but you could bet that I was going to be a good one. That is, until I got my hands on the best building materials a kid could ask for. Shoeboxes and Legos. I built huge skyscrapers and constructed awesome houses. I was going to be an architect. But then I started to realize a different career dream. My brother and I spent hours in the backyard playing wiffle ball. We perfected our hitting, catching, and pitching. I was going to be a professional baseball player. But then I started to study the history of baseball. I realized that I loved history, and I wanted to share those stories with others. I was going to be a history teacher. Then one day I was watching one of my favorite shows on TV, Law & Order. I got excited for the lawyers, standing up for their clients and defending justice at all costs. I was going to be a lawyer. Many of us have similar stories to share about our childhood. As children, we're wired to be curious. We explore and experiment for the purpose of learning about ourselves and the world around us. It's as though we're born understanding that we have potential unique to ourselves, and through our exploring and experimenting, we're determined to discover what that potential is. I have yet to find a career that will take me away from being a lawyer. I believe that I have finally discovered all of the talents and gifts that God has given me and channeled them into the perfect career for me. Through each of the career fields that I explored, I finally discovered my career potential. For the longest time, I thought that potential was something that everybody had. No matter what we did, we would always end up doing exactly what we were destined to, because our potential had already been determined. I thought that potential was given to us, that it was easy to discover. We've all got potential somewhere inside of us, and it's up to us to discover it and to reach it. In the Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson wrote that we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Listen to that. We have the right to life, the right to liberty, and the right to the pursuit of happiness. That's different than having the right to happiness. Oftentimes when we achieve our potential in a sport or academic course, in a hobby or summer job, we achieve happiness. So here's the question. What will you do to achieve happiness? We've all got potential somewhere inside of us. If you're a great writer, how can you use that talent now and in the future? If you're passionate about volunteering, what needs can you meet for those around you? If you're athletic, how can you better your school and your community? It is our choice and our responsibility to use the beautifully unique gifts that we have been given to better ourselves and the world around us. There is not any other person that has the exact same gifts as you, so get busy giving your gifts to others. While we work to achieve our own potential, it's important that we pause and look to see the potential in others. Remember when I told you I wanted to be a professional baseball player? Here's a little bit more about that dream. I've always loved playing sports. My dad, my brother, and I spent hours in the backyard playing football, hitting wiffle balls, and shooting baskets nearly from dusk until dawn. Each day we went out, I told myself that that was the day that I would finally beat my brother at something. But each night I came in crying or nearly in tears because he'd beaten me again. It just wasn't fair. He's 3 whole years older than me. He might as well have been Babe Ruth out there hitting wiffle balls because I would have probably had just as much chance of beating him. Each of those losses was followed by the same thought. Not going out there again tomorrow. I'll lose. Why try? But then there was Derek. Somehow, each time I had those negative thoughts, he convinced me that I could do well, and we'd head back out to play the game. I really disliked losing to my brother. It wasn't that he was mean or cocky, although he did tend to showboat at times. It was just that I wanted to win so badly, and when I couldn't, I wanted to quit. I thought it'd be better to sit inside all day and do nothing than risk going outside and getting dominated in wiffle ball again. I'd been so close to beating him so many times, and when I couldn't, I wanted to give up. Derek, though, saw in me the potential to succeed. I don't think he ever actually wanted me to win, but he constantly worked with me and helped me to get better. When we realize our own potential, we owe it to the people around us to help them realize theirs, and that's what Derek did for me. I remember the day that Derek's encouragement finally paid off. We were playing wiffle ball in the backyard. It was the bottom of the last inning. I was down by 1 run, up to bat with a runner on second base. We used imaginary runners, of course. Derek delivered the pitch, and I probably smacked it over the house for a home run. I'd done it! I'd won! I rounded the bases, screaming and yelling at the top of my lungs. I was king of the world! I knew then that that was the start of a major winning streak for me in our backyard wiffle ball league. From that point on, I won my fair share of games. Although I think my career record ended up being something like 30 wins to about 250 losses. In the grand scheme of things, those wiffle ball games weren't important. What is important is that my brother Derek watched me, helped me, and encouraged me because he understood what I had the potential to do. He also realized that if I wanted it, I'd have to work for it. There are times in our lives when we think things are too hard, not fair, or impossible. There are also people in our lives who help us to realize that we have the abilities to overcome those challenges and help us to discover those abilities. They realize when we're about to give up and remind us to keep going. Look around you. Who has greatness inside them that they're about to let slip by? Who has already let greatness slip away? See it. Tell them. Encourage a friend, family member, complete stranger to keep going, keep trying. Use the best of yourself, your knowledge, talent, and skills to help them develop theirs. I used to think that if I was doing things right and I kept it up, I would get exactly what I wanted out of life. I thought that if I strolled through life without a care in the world, that I would have my potential plopped down in front of me like a gift here from someone. It doesn't work that way. We must get up and strive to discover our potential. When we choose to embark on a journey of discovery, we not only discover our best, we find the people who help to build up our best. Eileen Kennedy Moore said, "Potential is not an endpoint, but a capacity to grow and learn." I believe that if we choose to, we constantly discover our potential. We don't arrive at it and stay. It's a never-ending ride that allows us to constantly discover ourselves in new ways. Look inside yourself. Discover what you think and feel and believe. Choose to take the journey to discover your potential. Encourage others on their journey. Live a life of choosing to pursue your potential.
Dylan, I've learned a few things about you this year. I've learned we won't make it 5 miles down the road without you changing the radio station. You won't rest until your room is clean. And that your attention to detail is very important to this team. Thank you for helping us to pursue our dreams. Nebraska FFA, your Nebraska State FFA Vice President, Dylan Dom.